right, what is good, sports metal community? We are joined today by former Chicago Wolves player Scooter Vaughn. Thank you for joining us today, Scooter.
No problem, Tommy. Thanks for having me.
So we just got a couple of questions um, about your career and your life. Max, you want to start off?
Yeah, so starting, with the basics, why is like hockey your sport? Did it like choose you or did you choose it?
That's a good question. I think it kind of chose me. Like my parents growing up, like most kids, I played a lot of sports. I did soccer, I did baseball, I did a number of sports. And then, when you get to the age when you get to competitive sports, around your guys' age, when you get your teenage years, it's occupying more of your time. So you have to decide, like, am I going to do travel baseball or hockey? Like, I don't have time for all of them. So I kind of picked hockey. Like hockey kind of, I feel like it chose me. It was one of the sports I played growing up. And then I think probably because I was the best at it, I decided to continue making that my full-time or number one sport.
Do you
Awesome.
know when you first laced up the skates?
Probably roller hockey first when I was, 4 or 5 when I was living in California. And then I didn't start playing ice hockey till I was like 7 or 8. So I kind of, but a little bit late for some professional hockey players. I know some of them are in skates as toddlers at 2 or 3, but I didn't get into ice skates until I was about 8.
Yeah, what was it like playing in California? Like, was there pretty good competition?
Yeah, there is. I mean, I get this question a lot, and it's something that people gets people thinking. Is California as a state has the most professional sports teams next to New York. So I mean, we have the Ducks, the Kings, and the Sharks. So at that time, I think in the '90s when I was growing up, the Ducks just opened their franchise in Anaheim, and the Mighty Ducks movies came out.
Yeah.
Obviously, we're all familiar with those. So that kind of hockey was a big sport growing up in my youth in Southern California.
So with like the Anaheim Ducks and stuff like opening up, was that like your favorite hockey team kind of growing up, or is it still currently?
Growing up, yeah, that's who we had season tickets, or not season tickets, the friends did, and we try to go as much as possible to Ducks games because it was about 15 minutes away. So that definitely was my hometown team.
Oh, nice. And did you like try and mirror your game off of some of them?
No, not really. That wasn't really my thing. I was always very individual and did my own thing.
Who was your favorite player, you think, growing up?
Oh,
Yeah,
Classic.
he was fun to watch. So I mean, maybe subliminally I did because I mean I don't play anything like Tammy, but like he was fast and I was fast.
so going, we saw that you played, hockey at Michigan, and thought that's pretty cool. So when you're growing up, when did you realize like when you're here? Let me freeze that. When did you realize you had a shot at going pro playing hockey? Like, what was your mindset?
I didn't really think about playing pro until probably my last year of college when you get to the phase of either you have to get a real job or you can continue to play hockey. So it's not until my senior year of college that I think about playing professional hockey. I always just kind of education was big in my household with my parents growing up. So they told me, you're going to go to college regardless, whether you play hockey or not is up to you. So education was a big thing. So I just tried to get to college, and it happened that I went to Michigan, and that worked out really awesome. I was a big fan of the school even before I got my scholarship to go there. So I always knew that I would hopefully play college hockey. Granted, I'd get a scholarship, and I probably knew that I had the opportunity to when I was maybe like 15 is when the offers and the visits and stuff like that started to happen, and peers around me were signing. So probably when I was about 15, I knew that college hockey was something that I was attainable.
Is
Yeah.
that
So
kind
what kind of attracted you to U of M?
Well, I mean, like most people originally, their winged helmets and their football and hockey attracted me to there, but that's a awesome school education wise with a lot of good sports teams. And like I said before, education is big in my household. So it was kind of a no brainer once the offer came.
so at college, we kind of read your like Wolves bio or whatever. It said that you were a DJ
A
or
little bit, yeah. Sometimes there'd be Tuesday nights, the big night to go out. Sometimes in school, so
yeah.
we're DJ
So
and
what kind of made you like being the DJ?
I get to pick what music was being played.
Oh, that's pretty cool. So for like music, what music did you choose? Like what genre? What was the thing?
You
that
know
you
what? Like when I think everyone gets this realization when they want to DJ, they're like, I'm going to DJ the music I want to play. Yeah, yeah, yeah. But then like you're at college and you're at a top 40 bar and you have to play what everyone else wants to listen to. So you end up playing mostly top 40 with, your mix of your hip hop or, your house music, what you have. So it's, you kind of have to play what the people want to play. It's not so much up to you unless you're a big name like Tiesto or Armin van Buuren or something like that.
It's pretty cool though.
What was
And
what was? Oh yeah, go ahead.
so like going to kind of stick with the music thing. What were the pregame tunes that you jammed out to?
Man, everything. Like literally everything. Like I always like had like a strategy of my pregame music. I wouldn't listen to like, like the hardcore pump up like rap or house music until like I was getting dressed because like there's a lot of time before a game. Like we get there 2 hours before. So like, I start the tempo slow with like, so like a little bit of rock and roll. I listen to the Rolling Stones a lot. Like I like rock and roll before games, like Lumineers, some stuff like that, like Rain Wolf. And then, I'd kind of switch the gears once I would start getting dressed, to whatever the Kendrick Lamars. I mean, that was years ago now. Like in college, what were some of the jams we were listening to? Man, I can't even remember. I think Drake was big. Headline in college was big. I think that I remember playing in the locker room, but Drake's been big for a long time. But I like all music. It's a big part of me as a person and my artistic growth and me. And so I really like it. I play guitar, so
Oh,
music's
that's
big.
cool. So
And
like,
go ahead.
oh, all right. So kind of like pregame, would you tape your stick every game, like before the game?
Every game, before every game. Yeah.
Question: white tape or black tape?
For me, I used black tape.
Did you like? Because
Ah,
I've used both. I've used both colors of the tape. Do you feel a difference with using a different one? Because I feel like with the black tape, I can get a quicker shot off, and it's like the stick feels smaller, and I can control the puck. With the white tape, I feel like I get a longer feel with it. You know?
Um, I would have used black because that's what a goalie said. The puck hides better on black tape.
Oh, that's true.
yeah, I
Yeah.
heard about that.
So yeah, so that's why I use black. I use, obviously growing up, I used both, and then I think maybe when I was a teenager, I stick to mostly black, and then you get to college and pro, and you have like thick tape, you have like thick black or thin black, and so I was most of my years pro, I used the thick black tape.
What do you think's like the biggest obstacle you faced in your hockey career?
Injuries probably. Yeah, I had a lot of injuries throughout my career, broken bones from, it's a violent and high contact sport. So like staying healthy is a skill kind of. Like you always hear about like, oh, if so and so would have been healthy, they would have won, or if so and so like would have stayed healthy, they might have had a chance. Blah blah blah. Like I think that's a skill, like getting your body recovered,
Yeah.
making you mobile, limber, and stuff like that. So I think that the biggest setback in any professional athlete's career is probably it's staying healthy. And then after that, like having someone that's on your side, having a coach that's going to like you, having someone that's going to give you ice time, being in an environment for success is definitely probably the next step of that.
Well, because I can imagine if you're playing it at such a high level, and you probably do that for quite some time, you're kind of putting every step forward, like at your 100%, and injuries are probably going to occur. And was it hard kind of coming back from the injuries and kind of, like you said, regaining the trust of the coach, or not trust, but like relationship?
Yeah, no, yeah. For injuries wise, like yeah, that's I think the hardest part, like by far, with like injuries. And so like I mean, even so, like I just had surgery a week ago for an injury that I had playing for the Wolves in 2017. So like it's just injuries, like you said, like you're playing professional and you have some of the best athletes and hockey players in the world, so you're going as hard as you can every time. And so you're going as hard as you physically can against guys that when it's for a paycheck and for money, you have mortgages and you have kids and wives and girlfriends, and you want to drive a nice car and you have things that you want to get for yourself. Like you end up going really hard, which hopefully leads into some good, fun, healthy competition. But more times than none, it leads into injuries, and so that's like a big part of the game is staying healthy. So I staying healthy, commend the guys that can do it. I think the more impressive part of you see guys like Tom Brady that are playing in their 40s and 43 years old. Not only him being effective, like playing that age, like it's a testament to like him not getting injured, him even able to stay healthy. Because you look at the other side of the coin, and you have guys like Greg Oden, basketball player, like couldn't even play in the league because he couldn't stay healthy. And so that is in my personal opinion, a skill. Obviously, with stretching, mobility, all the new training techniques, you can acquire it, but that's something that gets kind of overlooked.
Yeah, and it almost like makes you feel like the little things matter so much more just to keep your body healthy. Because kind of what you're saying with Tom Brady, he does the same thing like almost every day. And even the smallest thing of like sugar, and I've heard flour, he doesn't really use just so he can play at that peak performance every single day. And I think it's incredible how you take the little things like that every stretch. It makes you think, I got to do this stretch every day because who knows, that might, be the reason why I got hurt. So I think it's pretty cool.
Yeah, when you think about it too, though, there's not much difference in talent and anything like between players, like in every level, like at your guys' age and whatnot. If you go to the NHL, like obviously you have the Patrick Kanes, you have like the Connor McDavids, but everyone else is kind of right in the middle. Everyone else is pretty, an average, like really good, obviously, but everyone else, like the separation sometimes comes, for me, it was like killing penalties and like being able to use my speed. But like, for some people, it might be doing that diet so you can be a little bit faster, so you can able to have more strength and endurance in the corner. So like your diet, it could be that you didn't get hurt. It could be, like some skill that you possess weird in hockey, like fighting or killing penalties. But like, the little things is the difference in pro sports, because there's not much difference if there wasn't these little cheats like dieting and lifting weights. Everyone would be the same. So that's how you kind of have to get a leg up.
Yeah. Did you have a specific diet?
I'm kind of a picky. I wouldn't say it was specific diet. Like I wouldn't like I would follow it, but like I'm just a picky eater in general. So it was pretty easy for me. I'm kind of a bland meat, potatoes, and like a side of broccoli kind of eater. Like I like my steak and potatoes type of deal. So I followed that diet because that's what I like to eat, and like I was a picky eater. It happened to be that the food was pretty good for me, and I wasn't like eating McDonald's or doing that whole thing. So I did eat pretty well, but I wouldn't say I followed a specific diet. I just kind of ate what I liked, but in moderation and in a healthy form. Not tried to fry it, tried to keep it pretty moderate, and make it at home, steak, chicken, meat, potatoes, that kind of thing. Obviously get my veggies in, but like I said, I'm like pretty picky, so I'd just be like steamed broccoli or like steamed asparagus or something like that.
Yeah. How often did you work out? Like when you were playing for the Wolves or kind of anytime?
Even or not in season, because we skate every day in season, and usually guys will work out before or after. In the off season, a couple times a day usually.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, usually it's probably 6 times, or I'd say like 5 days a week, twice a day, and then on the weekend you get one day where you get an active stretch and recovery, and then probably one day where you exercise. And then it depends on what phase you're at in the summer, because like closer you get to season coming up in training camp, you're on the ice more, and so you're on the ice and then you lift. There's 2 workouts there. But like early in the summer, you're not really on the ice very much, so you're just getting good workouts in, good runs, keep your cardio, and get more strength.
And for the workouts, were they kind of the same every day, like upper body, lower body, or were they varied based on kind of like what point you were at in the year?
A lot of things come into play. Like with me coming, like if I was injured at all, obviously you have to cater towards getting healthy or not using that body part. But also like kind of what phase you're at with your body. Like if you're healthy and you're in peak condition, like you want to be to start the summer, it's like, what are some of the things you want to work on? Do you want to work on getting faster? So you might do stuff to higher reps, lower weight to, to get your volume up. Or if you want to gain weight, you need to be bigger and stronger in the corners. You might do less cardio and you might lift heavier weights for low reps. So it kind of all depended on what I needed. Most of the time my workouts were full body. I wouldn't say they were different every time, but I would do something. I try to like incorporating something new to the workouts that I learned throughout the week, or to help me with whatever I'm doing on or off the ice. And then just a lot of stretching. That's what I'd recommend more than anything. A lot of stretching, a lot of yoga.
What do you think your biggest accomplishment was in your hockey career?
Man, edit that part out. But probably I don't know, man. Going to Michigan was cool. You know, had a decent pro career. Probably the AHL Man of the Year was a really cool one back in. I think that was my last year with the Wolves in 17-18. That was
It's an awesome
a
award.
big accomplishment.
Yeah,
So
congrats.
yeah, thank you guys.
So kind of sticking with like the hockey career type of thing. Did you play with some teammates that went on to play at the NHL level, and do you kind of like still keep in touch with them?
Yeah, a decent amount of them. I talked to Bennington a couple of days ago. I keep in touch with a lot of those Blues guys that are up there, and have friends throughout college and growing up playing minor hockey that play. So I keep in touch with a lot of people in general. So some of them will happen to play in the NHL. Yes.
And with the rinks in the AHL, we kind of were thinking, which rink was like the best to play at and like the loudest?
I like but Grand Rapids was good to play at. They usually had good hockey knowledgeable fans, the sellout crowd, and they had some good cheering sections. I like playing at Grand Rapids. Rockford was fun to play at. They're smaller arena, but like their fans are on top of you. It was always a energetic game, so I didn't mind playing it. I didn't like the trip, like having to drive an hour early for the
Yeah.
Rockford and busing and that song and dance and like obviously like their fans were. It was a tough barn to play at, but like looking back, like that's what you want. Like you don't want to go to Iowa and have 14 fans there when it looks like the pandemic 3 years ago.
Not
So
my wild.
yeah, so that in the West when I played there. Um, in the East, when I played there, Hershey was always a good place to play.
And so, kind of sticking with the rinks, you said that the Iowa Wild was probably one of the worst rinks. Is there any other rinks?
Rinks, just like that was probably the nicest rink because it was where
Or yeah,
it
what I
just
meant was like,
didn't have any. I mean, it was just they played in like a 20,000 seat arena and they had like
Oh wow.
a couple thousand people there. It was a beautiful rink. It was one of the nicest rinks. I liked that trip the best. Like you could go in the day before. There was really nice places to eat. I liked going to Des Moines, Iowa. Actually, it was a decent trip. It was just the energy and their fans were non-existent because I don't know, they weren't very good when I was there, and they just didn't get any fans.
were there like any other rinks like that? Kind of not like nice, but like low crowd kind of.
Oh, low crowd. I mean, a lot. I mean, it's minor league hockey. A lot of them are low crowd. It depends on the night. And the Wolves sometimes might not have the best crowd on a Wednesday evening. They usually do a good job, Courtney there. So no bad feelings on the Wolves. But a lot of places, depending on it's minor league hockey, didn't have great crowds. Milwaukee was usually pretty good. Grand Rapids was pretty good. The California swing, Bakersfield wasn't great, but Ontario and San Diego both had great fans. Texas was always fun. San Antonio had decent fans. They played where the Spurs play, so like they had, but so they set 20,000, but it was a good night if they had around 10, and I'd say they'd average when I would play there on like 5 or 7. So like 5 to 7,000 in a 20 seater is not bad.
Yeah. What was your first impression of Chicago when you came here?
I mean, I went to school in Michigan, and I've been to Chicago kind of a bunch growing up, so I was excited to have some familiarity and some friends around.
What are some of your favorite like restaurants around Chicago?
Restaurants. What's the hot dog place? Portillo's.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, Portillo's is good. I like
people
Portillo's.
love that.
Yeah, I mean, it's probably all changed downtown. I mean, I lived downtown for a bit, so I'd go. I don't know what's Hubbard Street. They have all the places to eat, places to go out. You guys are too young. You want to know, but yeah, it's been a while. But I liked Portillo's. I had good dogs.
Now we gotta ask you, Cubs or Sox?
I mean, I think I have like the Cubs. I've just never been to U.S. Cellular Field except for like driving by on the freeway, and obviously Wrigleyville's got some fun. And they won when I was there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So I'm a Cubs.
So when you're not playing hockey, you kind of said like workouts, but what else are you really doing? Like, what are your favorite hobbies to do, kind of off the ice?
Like when I was playing hockey.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, I would relax, play guitar, hang out with the guys. Like I cook a lot of food, so cooking and playing guitar was my jams. And obviously, business is a big thing for me. Right now I'm running one of the businesses I started, and so doing business stuff was always something I liked. Excuse me.
Who was your biggest supporter growing up?
Oh, my parents for sure.
Yeah, I feel like even now, I feel like your parents are always with you. They're kind of like pushing you, but at the same time, when you fall back, they kind of tell you to get back up.
Yeah,
I,
yeah.
yeah,
If you got good ones.
right. Before we end it, we saw that you have a charity or an organization called Kids for Camps. You want to tell us a little bit about it?
Yeah, Kids for Camps is started when I was with the Wolves actually, and I believe 2017. Started to give kids opportunities to go to camp that couldn't normally afford it. Me and obviously former Chicago Wolf Jerry Nightingale, I helped him. He has his Great Lakes hockey camps, which they go in Hoffman Estates and in New York, Toledo, Michigan, various and sundry places. He's doing a great job. I was helping him a couple summers back, and a couple kids couldn't afford to go. So I thought if they can't afford to go to hockey camp, there's probably other camps that kids can't afford to go to. So we started Kids for Camps, or myself did, and my business partners, and we're able to we've sent a couple hundred kids to camps, from NASA Space Camp to music camps to YMCA. We've sent a number of kids to the Great Lake Hockey Academy with Jared Nightingale, and camps all over. So it's definitely my passion project and something I'd like to spend a lot of time on, and I take a great amount of pride in. So it's kidsforcamps.com. Go donate.
Yeah, guys, please
Awesome.
go donate. Sounds like a great organization, charity. But do you think that's gonna do it for today?
Yeah, it's gonna wrap it up. Thank you so much, Scooter,
Yeah,
for your
thank you,
time.
Scooter. It means a lot to us. Um,
There. Oh, I thought you froze up. No worries
Oh.
at all. I appreciate you having me, guys.
Thank you.
thank you.
See you.
See ya. Sports mental community, we've done it. If you guys want to go subscribe to our YouTube, it
Yeah, I'll
is
be posting the YouTube up. Don't
yeah. This
forget.
this one's gonna be on YouTube. So if you guys are still on the video at this point, thank you so much.
Hey, and
For
don't forget, please help out Scooter with this organization
oh yeah,
charity. Looks like a great cause. Looked into it, and just for shout outs, follow Scooter Vaughn on Instagram.
yeah, and make sure to hit that subscribe button
Yes,
uh,
sir.
on YouTube. And if you're listening to this on our other platforms, because it'll be up on Anchor, Spotify, Apple Podcast.
All the platforms. Yeah.
Yeah, subscribe to our YouTube Sports Mental. We're trying to grow the community. Maybe we'll get a couple other hockey players on here, whatever
Hopefully, yeah,
athletes.
we got big plans. But shout out to Scooter, man.
Yeah, what a nice guy. That'll do it. We got an episode hopefully Saturday or Sunday,
Yeah,
depending.
we got a Super Bowl edition, I think, right?
Yep.
All right.
So,
We'll see you guys later.
see ya.